We're live, Matt. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
Good. Sprung it on you that we're live.
I see that.
Yeah. We got to get started a little bit before noon since the draft starts at noon our time. We can see the draft board here. We are picking third. So pretty obvious where we're going here in a one quarterback league. And that's going to be running back.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So ADP has our sleeper ADP or whatever the rankings has Henry ahead of Kamara. Would you actually go Henry ahead of Kamara here? No, me neither.
No, not in half PPR. In standard, sure.
In standard, yeah, and I would agree with that as well.
Yeah. No, so I would say it's about a 99% chance you're going to end up with Kamara here.
Or Cook. Cook is a possibility, and I'm happy with either. That's why they're both on the thumbnail, because I thought that's who it would come down to. One of those two guys I was going to get in the first round. Coming back, though, the other way, we're going to look at the ADP here. So picking in the 3 spot, it says Kamara, Metcalf, Darren Waller. I'm sure you have issues with that because I know you definitely don't want to take Darren Waller there. What would your game plan be if this was your draft?
I would likely go a second running back in that second spot there. I mean, obviously, it depends on kind of who falls there too, right?
It does, because there's some quality wide receivers, like a Calvin Ridley, to me, who I have ahead of DK Metcalf, would definitely be the pick that I would do. And Joe Mixon in the mocks that I've been doing has been the running back that I've been getting. Surprisingly, he comes back in the third, more likely than Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, that's not too terribly surprising. People are down on Mixon.
It's not, but if you look at the rankings here, he was, at least when I did it, see, there's Mixon right there at 17. Ahead of Antonio Gibson, Calvin Ridley at 20. So if you look at how people draft based off of the sleeper ADP, they would be looking to get Joe Mixon first. So that will be the big decision that we'll be facing in the second round of this draft. Of course, if you're watching this and you have any questions for us, just drop them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them. This draft is only going to be as entertaining as, well, a draft can be without your questions.
Looks like your chat's going off there. I don't know if you want to minimize that or.
I don't know how. Why don't you guide me through that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was playing with it yesterday. All you can do is scroll up or down. I don't think you can remove any of these cues, like unless I did this. But then I wouldn't know who to pick.
Is there anybody watching us right now that you see?
No.
Then good. And I'll ask you. Like, I can't find redraft rankings on our website. I've got rookie and dynasty.
Yeah. So that's happened to me too. You just have to like search for it. But I got them up here so I could just send you the link.
Those obviously, a lot of those still needs to be updated with injuries and things that have happened, but injuries to certain players yesterday.
What's that?
Injuries to certain running backs yesterday.
Yeah, the big injury to J.K. Dobbins, and now saying he's out for the season.
And T.Y. Hilton's hurt, apparently.
Yes, not as big of a blow, but still something.
Oh, it's still like a depth player.
Yeah, but it improves the value of 2 other players that people are more excited about.
In Pittman and Campbell?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this makes Gus Edwards now the guy, but Gus Edwards just isn't as good as J.K. Dobbins, where you could argue that both of those wide receivers are probably at this stage of their careers better than T.Y. Hilton for what he has left.
So you sent me the ADP spreadsheet, not our rankings.
No, they didn't copy properly. So I definitely click. Oh, that's because this is in here. Why is this in here? Okay, I'll just get it for you. That's odd.
I'll try just going back to the website. I don't know.
When I go do it on my phone, it shows it. It's just because I guess it's got like a previous cookie or something. So the draft has started. Yes, no, maybe. Do I have to refresh?
Shouldn't have to.
Still not started as we keep waiting. Matt, how high would you rank Gus Edwards now with the injury and the likelihood that he's out for the season for J.K. Dobbins?
I would put him I'm just looking here. I've got him. I don't know. Did you? I guess you updated after.
I've updated my PPR rankings for today so that we could use them.
Yeah.
I think I have them close to the top 20, but not in the top 20.
I think yours says 24 here.
Yeah.
I will tell you where I would slot him in.
Of course, if you are using our rankings, you can absolutely just sort by Matt's rankings to see exactly where he has everyone, or by mine, or back to the overall, which is our combined ranks.
Yeah, I mean, some of obviously mine have to be updated here. As you can see, Travis Etienne still in there as well. But I would put him, top. Like I said, I'd move up Javonte Williams to. I think I'd probably have Williams ahead of Melvin Gordon at this stage.
Interesting, but I think that's the common take on that.
I would say about 27 and a half in a PPR. Yeah, I'd put him behind Kareem Hunt. But,
really?
Yeah,
I'm all off Kareem Hunt this year. 38 passes last year he got, which was good. One more than the year before when he played only half a season.
No, they signed him to a big contract, so your draft is now started. So
yeah, Christian McCaffrey went first, and we're looking to see who goes second. Don't know if this person is here. There goes Derrick Henry. So now we have the choice between Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara.
I would go Cook.
I will also go with Cook, and I will leave Kamara for the person drafting right after here.
And they should be very happy to see that.
Yeah. So now this puts us in a situation where we have to get Alexander Mattison at some point, right? And carry that roster spot for the whole season.
Yeah, for sure. But that's, I mean, in a 10-teamer, he's going like round probably 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah, 16 rounds. We do need a defense today, Matt. I know you're not used to that, but we will be needing to pick a defense. So
you need a kicker?
No kickers. Just
that's good.
We got an extra flex, but we do need a defense. I mean, I don't mind defense. Compared to kicker, I think there's a big difference because you can like strategize a defense. You can think the Bears are playing against the Lions this week. That defense is going to rip the Lions apart or whatever. Versus a kicker, you're like, well, they're playing in a dome. So that's good news. But that's kind of it. Wow. So Tyreek Hill goes at 5. And I'm sure the guy picking Kamara is pretty happy because he was talking to me at work and he was asking me who I was going to pick, hoping he didn't get Henry. But so he gets Kamara.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot better than Henry in a PPR format. That's for sure.
Yeah, there goes Zeke. I think that's the big question. Who's the 5th running back off the board? And who is your 5th running back off the board? Is it Zeke? Is it Barkley? Chubb? Taylor?
It's it's not Barkley at this point because of the injuries, but it would be between like Zeke, Chubb, and Aaron Jones.
See, and I feel like it's a bit too early to be going Aaron Jones here.
No, that makes sense to me. I mean,
so
that offense is really good, right? So, and there's no Jamal Williams. Like, I mean, there's still AJ Dillon, but Aaron Jones he'll probably be a top 6 or 7 back, I would say this year. 7, 8?
Maybe. I think he's top 10.
Really, like, there's nothing like where you got Barkley, you've got the injury concern, you got Chubb, you've got the Hunt concern. There's nothing like that for him.
No, but there's the AJ Dillon concern.
Yeah, but
Travis Kelce, 1st round pick, which isn't that crazy, but it is to me.
It's not anymore. He's that much better than the rest of the tight ends. I think that team took Devontae Adams, if I saw that correctly.
Yep. So they went Kelce, Adams. So there's still some running backs and some wide receivers left coming our way.
So they're throwing running backs. They don't care that much about the backs, I guess, in the 10-teamer.
Pardon me?
I said, I guess they don't care that much about running backs. They're throwing their running backs in the 10-teamer. The team that just picked Kelce Adams.
Yeah, I mean, you could have taken Jonathan Taylor. That would have been a good pick as well. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with those picks. They're both very safe guys who aren't going to cost you the league. Like, with a running back, taking a running back in that spot, like a Barkley or a Taylor, you have the injury concerns. Sorry, for Barkley. And then you have the, how's he going to do for Taylor? Austin Eckler has shown that maybe he can't be as durable. But, I mean, Small sample size, so maybe he can be.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to end up with somebody really good falling. I think Ridley's going to for sure be there, I would imagine.
And there goes Diggs. So it says DeAndre Hopkins is questionable. Do you have any news on that?
No. I haven't seen anything that questions that he's going to be playing.
So you're not worried about him whatsoever?
No. Diggs was more of a question mark than Hopkins.
And what about A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson?
No, they're both good. They're both fine.
Okay. You heard it from Matt, the expert, the man who knows.
Yeah.
Everything. He has his ear to the ground. Talking people on Twitter.
I did trade for Joe Mixon last year, and he didn't play a single snap for me, so that didn't work.
Yeah, but it wasn't a preseason injury.
No.
All right, who would you pick here in this spot when you picked Aaron Jones and best available says Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, DeAndre Hopkins, Mixon? Would you have went with Najee Harris?
Eckler or Harris, I've been okay with.
Way too early on Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, way too early on Patrick Mahomes, especially in 10-teamer. Yeah, 10-teamer and single QB. That just is a big mistake there.
I think that Jalen Hurts will probably be the guy that we end up going with in this draft.
No, there you go. The side guys got Hill and Hopkins.
So the wide receiver start last year in this draft. I think I went 4 or 5 straight wide receivers with Thomas, Adams, Diggs. Was Diggs?
No, Cooper. Diggs wasn't that high last year.
No, but it was like a 4th round pick was Diggs.
Yeah.
So I think Cooper was a 3rd, and then it was it was Galladay. I had Galladay. Diggs had already had.
Kenny G.
Yeah, so a couple injuries there didn't work out, which is not usually the case. When you go wide receiver, you're hoping for that non-injury, that non-running back risk. So you got Kamara in the 1st round. Who are you going here? Are you going RB again, or are you going to a wide receiver, and are you taking Calvin Ridley? Or DK?
Me personally, I would. What are the wide receivers available? Can you just click on that?
Metcalf, Ridley, Brown, Jefferson, Allen, McLaurin, Robinson. So still some great guys.
Yeah, I think I would go running back just because of the.
And you would obviously go with Joe Mixon over Austin Eckler?
I would, but ADP says Eckler.
What about Antonio Gibson ahead of both of them?
No, not for me. Not for me. But
okay, so we're going to be picking next. What are you thinking for my pick?
For you? Well, I know you're going to go Calvin Ridley, so I'm not even too worried about that.
Well, what if he's taken?
Then I would. If Ridley goes, which he didn't, it went Eckler, so it didn't even matter.
So you think the pick is Ridley over Mixon?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've got a better chance of.
And he is my number 1 PPR wide receiver this year, so I will take him.
I think you've got a better chance of Mixon coming back than Ridley.
And I mean, there's still the opportunity for us to go wide receiver. There was Metcalf. And I'd be fine with an Antonio Gibson as well.
Yeah, or even for me, I'm okay with Elair coming back too.
That I'm not. I'll go wide receiver over that. I'm not chancing that again.
He's going to be a lot better than last year.
Why?
They got a way better offensive line.
Okay. But I mean, there were other running backs that were fine last year on that team. It's just he wasn't that great. I don't think he fits the volume load.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree there.
If it was a full PPR, maybe he'd have more value, but I don't buy it. I didn't like him that much coming out of college. I thought he landed in the best possible situation, but I always thought it was going to be some type of committee there where none of the backs would get tremendous volume. And they gave him a lot of volume early in the season, and then they brought in Lev Bell and, because clearly they wanted more from the running back position. So I don't see how he just makes like a huge leap. Do I think he'll be better? Maybe, but I think it's going to be more of a pass catching role where he's going to be better.
I'd be okay with him, but if you take Gibson over him, I'm not opposed to that. Or obviously
Gibson is gone, so we don't have to worry about that. There goes George Kittle. So now we just got to judge Joe Mixon on this one pick, and then we can go with Joe Mixon. And if not, which wide receiver would you be thinking to go with here?
Which wide receiver here? I'll tell you.
I could put up your rankings.
Yeah, I'm trying to read that screen of who's. I have Keenan next. Obviously, you don't agree with that.
Why is Keenan so high this year compared to other years? He's never been this high ever. And now all of a sudden, even with this influx of talent like the A.J. Browns, Terry McLaurin, Justin Jefferson, people have him so high. Like, yeah, he's good. He's consistent, but this is just the Herbert thing. People think Herbert's going to take the next step, and that'll be it. There goes Joe Mixon, so we missed on that. So at this point, to me, it's going to be taking another wide receiver.
So AJ or Justin Jefferson, I guess you're looking at. You can go Scary Terry.
I think you know which one I would prefer. Actually, have Scary Terry by one spot over AJ Brown, but that was probably a ranking based off Julio being healthy. What do you think chances of Julio being healthy are?
Not great. I think I would go AJ Brown, even though
I'm thinking the same thing as well. Like, again, that ranking probably hasn't moved since I didn't really look over the top 10 that thoroughly. But yeah, let's go AJ Brown.
The other thing is there's a decent chance McLaurin. I didn't realize he's that high on sleeper too, but there's a decent chance McLaurin could have got back, but probably not at this point.
No, I don't think he gets back. Now I think we need to be looking at running back. And again, like, I love Josh Jacobs. I'm good with Chris Carson. I don't think Montgomery makes it back.
No.
But I keep getting Miles Sanders in a lot of drafts.
Yeah, I would say that Sanders a decent chance comes back. Was that Waller?
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Hawkinson in the 5th is the move?
If there's 0 other options, yes.
So let's look at the ADP here as to where he should be going. So we are pick 3. We'll just highlight the column. So we got Ridley, and then we got AJ Brown. It says we reached by 2 and then reached by 1, which is fine because we got the 1 spot boost here. So Miles Sanders seems to be the guy they think will come back, but it'd be nice if Josh Jacobs or Chris Carson would fall so that we can get one of them.
As much as I don't care for Josh Jacobs, yes, I agree with that. Over Miles Sanders.
J.K. Dobbins obviously is not going to be going around the spot.
No. If he does, that's good news for you.
So in the 5th, if like a Cooper or a Godwin are still available, I think you'd have to go the wide receiver and then hope to get T.J. Hawkinson's supposed to come back in the 6th. So I think we'll wait for the 6th for T.J. Hawkinson. Again, a 10-team league, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, the worst guy we're going to get is Robert Tonyan, which is still, a startable option who could take a step.
Even you got Jasicki below that too. Like, I think Jasicki's just as fine to start too.
Yeah, I've actually moved him down my rankings. I do like Big Bob Tonyan a bit more now. Just think he's the safer high floor every week.
Yeah. What do you think of? Apparently, Miami's the leading candidate for Watson again. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
They'd obviously be trading Tua to Houston.
I know, but like, why? Like, why not give Tua a realistic shot and then?
Well, I would assume that even if the deal was to happen, I don't think he could probably play week 1. Like, wouldn't there be some type of like commissioner's list exemption? Like,
well, you'd think, but they haven't put him on it yet. But Houston obviously has no interest in playing him
unless they want to play him at safety.
Yeah. Right.
There goes Montgomery. So we didn't think he was going to make it back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire still on the board, Matt. Your thoughts about your favorite player of 2021, apparently?
I'm not sure who is Clyde Edwards-Helaire now my new favorite player.
He is.
That's weird. I have 10 running backs ahead of him. That's no, I think that's I think there's value here if somebody. Well, this guy probably not going to take Helaire, but he's got 2 running backs already. But
there are 2 flex positions, so
okay.
And there's nothing wrong with going running back. You just have to be in the right spot for it. If you were picking first, McCaffrey, Gibson, Mixon would have been a absolutely fine starting combination, and I would have preferred that over Kittle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Justin Jefferson goes. Do you believe Justin Jefferson will have a better or worse season than last year?
It won't be better, so it's either the same or worse for me.
Yeah, it's going to be worse. I mean, I don't think it's going to be tremendously worse, but I think it's going to be worse.
Like, their options aren't any better, like the other options on that team.
No, but if the defense has gotten better, there's going to be a lot less opportunities for him to get those touches that he was getting late in games and, in blowouts. So
they didn't do a whole lot to make me think they're going to be that much better. But
defenses look good in preseason, but I get it's preseason. I just assumed that it would have been something that they addressed.
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, and I mean he's not what he used to be, but he's still he's no Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, Xavier Rhodes wasn't very good at the end of his tenure there either.
No,
he's really good for a while. But I think
he was. And then you cursed him. You're like, nah, he's no longer a shutdown guy, and then he hasn't been ever since you said those words.
So
2 years ago.
There goes Scary Terry.
Yep. I don't think wide receiver is something we'd be looking at next round anyways. There goes Allen Robinson, so it looks like a wide receiver run. When do you think in this draft the next quarterback will go? What round?
I will say I'm going to say this next round coming up, round 4, someone's going to take one.
How many do you think go? Because, I mean, once one goes, you know it's going to start a run. No, it's going to start a run. No. I say 3 go in the next round. I'm including this pick as part of the 4th round because I'm not going to be taking a quarterback.
No.
I don't think the person picking in the 4th spot right after us / right before us will be taking a quarterback either. I can't really speak on too many of these people. This person likely won't be taking a quarterback either. But everybody else, other than the guy who has Patrick Mahomes, could be taking quarterback. So this person is copying my strategy from last year, going wide receiver, and looking to get values at the running back position. So when I did this last year, my running backs ended up being David Montgomery, who was running back 6 overall, Kareem Hunt, who once Chubb got injured, I was able to trade away for somebody else. And I ended off the year after drafting those 2 running backs, guys like Zach Moss and just like hopeful running backs. I ended up the year with Zeke and Carson, who down the stretch both weren't very good, but I improved my position at the time just with those guys and trading wide receivers away.
Were you fortunate enough to grab James Robinson last year?
Yeah, no, I didn't get him in that league. So there goes Chris Carson. So now the running back position comes down to a Swift, I guess would be all right. Jacobs, possibly Sanders or Henderson. Definitely not Kareem Hunt. Mike Edwards-Helaire. What?
Edwards-Helaire.
He's not going to make it back.
Well, he's still there. You never know.
He could. And I mean, if but else, he'll take Jacobs over him.
There is that injury concern, and maybe that's what people are looking at, maybe.
No, I think whenever, like, I'm surprised Mixon went there because, I mean, last year he was going around here, right? So there goes James Robinson.
That's a little bit of a reach still for me over these other guys.
You have him ahead of Gus Edwards for sure, right?
Yeah.
So he would be where in the rankings?
Ahead of ETN as well.
Obviously. So I have him right after Chris Carson and right before, so this is pretty much on brand for exactly where he was picked with CEH, Swift, Sanders, and Henderson still on the board. But I'll pull up your rankings and you can drop them in where you think.
Robinson would go in right below Montgomery, below Sanders, below Carson. So between Jacobs and Gaskin.
Okay, so just outside the top 20.
That would be where I would drop him in.
CeeDee Lamb going before Amari Cooper. Do you have any issue with that?
I don't have an issue with it. I don't think it's the right move, but I don't have an issue with it. I have them very close together.
I feel that people are buying CeeDee Lamb at pretty much his ceiling when you're drafting him here. So, and I mean, it's the 4th round. You're looking to get value. You've seen your favorite player drop. CEH still available. And there are other players like Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Chris. And I get Mike Evans isn't a sexy pick here because it is a half-point PPR, and he's more of a standard type of guy. But there's a DJ Moore here. Would you rather have DJ Moore than CeeDee Lamb?
No, I'd rather have CD.
Really? Even though his jersey's in the back?
I couldn't tell who that was back there. I was trying to think of a 12 that you had.
Do you know, is he even 12 anymore? Because I saw he changed his number.
I don't know.
It might have been just a picture that I saw of him. He was wearing like number 2 or 3.
I was gonna say number 2 sounds familiar for him.
And I
But
mean,
they made it really difficult on guys to switch their numbers.
Yeah, so he has to buy out all the jerseys. Does that mean he's going to pay me back for mine?
Yeah, maybe. Is that a signed one too?
Yeah.
So
how small is it on your screen that you can't see it? You know, there's a full screen button that you could press, right, in the bottom right corner of it.
Oh, well, that's a lot more handy. That's much better.
I didn't know that till right now.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah, now you can see what everybody sees.
Very nice.
And I'll keep this open in case we get a comment, which is highly doubtful. There goes Swift. What are your thoughts on Swift this year? Because he has a very, you either love him or hate him, and
it's really strange. Like, I mean, depending on how much you believe. One of the coaches there, I think it was Anthony Lynn, who I believe is their OC now.
Yep, sounds about
was
right.
really infatuated with Jamal Williams. That really turned people off of Deandre Swift. I'm still okay with him as a second back for me. Like, he's top 20 for me still.
And again, this is a half PPR league. He's going to catch a lot more passes than Jamal Williams. Even though Jamal Williams is fine at catching passes, there's just like DeAndre Swift just isn't the biggest back. So running him through through the middle of the line 20 times a game probably is never going to be the format for him. But all right, I'm just going to finish it up saying, like, I like Swift's talent. I never liked that he went to Detroit because that seems to be the graveyard for running backs. But I was more optimistic about him this season until all this noise came out that you were talking about. Julio, way too early? Way too early for Julio?
Not way too early, but too early. There's better players there.
There goes Jacobs. So that strategy looks like a really good team right now. Hill, Hopkins, Allen, Jacobs. I think Jacobs is very much undervalued. I don't see him being worse than last year. I don't care about Drake. Gruden likes to run his running backs. He's never had a running back with less than 220 touches in his career as a head coach.
I don't like that they paid Drake to come.
What?
I don't like that they paid Drake to come in.
They're going to use him as a wide receiver. They don't have any wide receivers.
If that's the case, then fine.
So now with Jacobs gone, is it just CEH?
Well, for me, but if you don't like him, then
I mean, no. I don't like him to the point where he's still like on my list of guys that are coming up here. Like he's still right there. Every single person ahead of him is gone. He's my best running back on the board ahead of Sanders and Henderson.
And this team in front of you, I think that's picking has 2 running backs, so they're probably not going to take him.
All right, way to jinx it.
Well, what are the wide receiver situation here?
The wide receiver situation is Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Robert Woods, DJ Moore. He loves DJ Moore, he told me. And he knows that the jersey's hanging.
And he's got 0 wide receivers so far.
Yep. But he's analyzing the depth. Is this a CEH cutoff?
He could be watching us talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yep. And now Clyde Edwards-Helaire has gone. He has cheated. He has picked him because we told him to, and he knew that we were going to pick him. Now he's typing in the chat about it like a dick. Okay, so it's at us. I'm not crazy about any of these running backs here. Yeah. I'm looking at most teams have the running backs except for one.
Yeah. Well, the teams picking behind you have 2 running backs already. So, I mean, chances are they're not going that position.
Okay. So now that I think it just comes down to who is the pick here between, was it Cooper or Godwin?
That would be my next 2. Yeah.
So let's check the rankings here on BlueDuckFantasy.com.
I think I have Godwin ahead, but
I have Cooper 1 spot ahead. You have Godwin 3 spots ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I would actually flip Godwin down with Robinson. So I mean, it's like one
so it's really a coin flip between Cooper and Godwin. Cooper was dealing with an injury. I saw on Hard Knocks he was playing, was on a snap count.
Played 13 times.
13 snaps.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know what to do. I think it's less crowded. They're both crowded situations, but I think it's less crowded. Is it less crowded in Dallas?
Well, Gallup versus Antonio Brown.
But are you worried at all with the Dak injuries and everything that's going on with him and his arm? Because if he can't play, then Cooper is pretty much garbage.
Yeah, a little bit worried about that. But there was out today that Dak looks good in practice, according to Jerry Jones.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, me neither.
Everything just flipped.
You're running out of time on your pick. I did.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Godwin. So that was very strange. Very strange indeed.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear and see you.
I can't hear you.
I can't see the screen.
Can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I cannot hear you. You're not muted or anything. I don't know what happened. I'm going to try to share the screen again. For whatever reason, it flipped the screens. So, like, my mouse is now backwards. You got your mic working again?
I don't know. You tell me.
Still nothing. And that might be a problem on my end that I just can't hear you.
Probably.
Because I might not be able to hear anything.
Test again.
Have you been talking this entire time?
I have not been talking this entire time. Can you still not hear me?
Still can't hear you.
Okay.
You can start writing on something?
I can't see anything.
No technical difficulties here. Almost time for our pick. So, Matt, maybe if you just want to get a piece of paper and write down or maybe post in the chat, who do you think we should pick? There goes Cooper, so he didn't make it back. Matt says, unfortunately, Miles Sanders. He might be right. But what about DJ Moore? Why do I keep ending up with this guy? That might have fixed your mic. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Yeah, your mic's still off. You might have to unplug it and plug it back in.
All right.
I like Sanders over Moore with your wide receiver depth you have already. Again, 2 flex positions here, but we don't have a second running back that we will have to start. Hopefully we can get somebody like Mike Davis coming back, but let's go Miles Sanders. He is the best running back available for me. Miles Sanders is the pick. And yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We still cannot hear Matt. I don't even know if you can hear me.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear myself on the YouTube. So it might be an issue with the sound on my PC. So maybe you can hear Matt just fine and I'm just going crazy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, so just keep talking.
Okay.
They can probably hear you.
Well, I'm just playing around with the audio to see if I can let Ben hear me again, but no, I don't know what he hit on his end, unfortunately.
I have no idea what you're saying, but
I'm just talking to the
let me
crowd.
see if I can plug in and maybe get something from you.
So this person that's picking right now is probably going to go wide receiver. Like they don't have any, and it's round 5. I think Ben is going to really hope that TJ Hawkinson falls all the way back down.
You bet I'm going to hope that, Matt. TJ
Hey,
Hawkinson in the 6th. Yeah, it's just a speaker problem. Because what happened is it decided to turn on the third monitor, one of these ones, that's hooked up to the PC. So,
oh, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so the sound that's normally off of one screen that I can hear just fine just wasn't working. There goes DJ Moore right after our pick. Man on the back. For those of you listening to this, although I don't think this will be posted on a podcast. So you have to be watching, Matt. Have to be watching today.
Have to be watching live to get all the instant analysis.
Well, you can watch it later, even if it's not live, and still get value from the draft and from your comments.
For sure.
You're probably best off to watch this at like 1.5 or 2 speed. So maybe we'll talk slower. Only one quarterback. You were right, by the way, in the 4th. There goes Kyler Murray. Here comes the run. I'm hoping for that run.
Possibly You're hoping for that run, yeah. I was gonna
Absolutely.
say.
But I mean, I only think that about 4 more teams would think quarterback here, and I think Lamar Jackson is going to be going by the end of this round. In one of the worst trades I've ever seen that worked out for a team, the last team traded Saquon Barkley for Lamar Jackson. And they did get something else as well with Lamar Jackson. And then Barkley got injured like week 2.
Oh, so I was going to say, was that pre-injury?
It was pre-injury. It was a terrible trade. I was just like, what is this? But that's what happens when you play in the league with people who don't take it as seriously as some other people do. So make sure.
I also said I warned you.
Yes. But that was the only issue. And again, this is more of just a fun work league, so I'm not overly worried about it. Tyler Lockett here. Would you ever draft Tyler Lockett in a single-digit round? Like,
I would.
Would you draft him here?
What is the wide receiver situation? No,
Deandre, Galladay. There goes Lamar Jackson. So
is that where you thought he was going?
No, I thought he was going to go at the turn here because that's who traded for him last year. I'm surprised that team took a quarterback. So now I'm thinking all but 2 teams will take a quarterback early.
Well, there's still tons of quarterbacks
and I'm really not happy with our running back situation. Like, we missed on Mixon and CH by 1 pick both times. That's how big a swing a draft can be. Because if we have Mixon, then, we don't need Lair, and then we're fine. We go Godwin, and we probably go DJ Moore here over Miles Sanders with the depth that we have. There goes Russ. Dak's got to be coming right here. Dak time.
Yeah, and so I'm just looking at the possibility of you getting Hawk. Like, the team right in front of you is not going to take him, I would assume. And this team isn't going to take him with having Kels. Did you know that we've been pronouncing Kelsey wrong for years?
That's his fault.
Yeah. But you heard that this summer?
Yeah, I heard it at some point. It wasn't like, if somebody had asked me about it, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. But the fact that you brought it up and had the information, I'm like, yeah, I heard it's Kels. But he said he's fine with both, right? Like,
well, I would hope so. He's let people call him Kelsey for 5-6 years or more.
I just always call him TK. So
yeah.
I never pronounce his name wrong. It's just always TK.
You could just call him Travis. I think we've had that
probably
one. Right?
T-Ravis.
T-Ravis?
It's T-Ravis. It's not Travis.
Ooh.
It's like Tarad. Travis.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't mind that pick. Like, looking at the wide receivers, I have T. Higgins pretty high on my list.
So, just to be clear here, you criticized my pick of T. Higgins in round 7 in my mock, but that you like T. Higgins there.
Yeah, I've come around more to him since then. It was round 7 that you got him?
Yeah. Or maybe 6. No, 6 was Stafford, so 7, yeah.
Yeah, he's the next guy here. He's actually ahead of DJ Moore for me, so...
Yeah, all right.
That's me not looking deep enough down the rankings.
You flip-flopped.
Yes, I've come around. Okay. I'm thinking he's going to be the number 1, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I don't think it'll be a 1A game.
He'll out-target Chase and White. That's for sure.
I'm sorry, Chase and White? Just keep going with it?
That one I did on purpose for you.
Yeah, okay. I figured as much.
Yeah. What do you think you're probably going another running back here unless TJH lands in your lap there, I'm assuming.
Possibly. I mean, it's really going to depend on what's there. We do have the starting lineup filled in. Now it's flex time. I'm not overly concerned about getting TJ Hawkinson in a 10 team as much as I would be in a 12 team,
right?
Simply because you're still getting a guy that's going to be good. Now, do I think TJ Hawkinson is going to perform at the level of a Waller Kittle? Yeah, I think he could be like knocking on that door of the top 3. So I do think you're getting value on him, but I don't mind taking him in the 7th because this is a 10-team league.
Yeah. Like for me, Hawk is ahead of Mark Andrews for sure.
Yeah. That's an interesting pick to take him there.
You could argue that. I mean, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to be as good as him, but you could maybe make that argument.
So Aaron Rodgers goes before Dak.
Yeah.
And I told you he was going to pick a quarterback. Now we have 6 teams with a quarterback. I would assume the team that went running back, wide receiver, I don't really like those wide receivers with Jones and Lockett. We'll probably be taking a quarterback here. That would be my guess. I don't think any of the two teams are going to get backup quarterbacks, but
no,
who knows?
I would hope not. I'm just looking at the backs here. Like, what do you like here? Javonte, Henderson, Gaskin?
Probably Mike Davis. I feel like Davis is kind of the safest play, whereas, yeah, and Sanders is, to me, a risk, because if the OC that used to be with the Chargers decides we're going to throw the ball to the running back as many times as they did last year, which was like almost 160, Kenneth Gainwell is going to get, a fair share of touches there. Boston Scott, they don't seem to be giving Sanders that workload. I know everybody loved him last year, but it's just like, no. And again, this coaching staff might, but they drafted Gainwell, so I don't.
Yeah. In round 5 or something, though. Kenny Gainwell.
Was it that late that he got drafted?
Yeah, it was around there.
And there goes Michael Thomas.
Hey, I don't hate that. I don't think I would take him that early.
No, I think it's too early. I mean, you still have Deontay Johnson there. I don't know.
I think Michael Thomas is probably not useful until at least week 7 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've got their bye in week 6.
It'd be different if they hadn't gone with a quarterback in the 5th round to take that pick. So you have your starting lineup, and then you have your strong flex. You're building your team for the playoffs. But taking that quarterback, now Michael Thomas is your 3rd wide receiver. You're going to be possibly taking a lot of L's early on in the season because you've decided to go quarterback too early. It's one of the things we preach. Do not draft quarterback too early.
In a one quarterback. Yeah. The other thing I don't like about this draft is it's 2 minutes per pick. I think that's too long. I know you don't care about that thing, but I do.
Yeah, I think 90 seconds is the better time. I think 60 is too quick.
Yeah, 90 is better. 90 is good. So you're really 2 picks away from getting Hawkinson if you want.
Yeah, I don't think I do want. I think I need to improve the running back position. But I will take a look at the rankings. One of the things to look at when you're doing a draft is where the app has everybody ranked. Because a lot of people are looking on that. Like, I was just talking about how I've moved T. Higgins far up my rankings, and yet he wasn't even showing on the best available players when I was talking about DJ Moore. So he would have been somebody that I've been looking at over him, even though the rankings on Sleeper or the ADP, whatever data they're using, is only showing the top guy. So you really have to pay attention to that. And again, you want to know the other people you're playing with. Like, I know the guy picking right before me has his own rankings, and he's probably not using this as much as some of the other people are. But everybody else in this league, and, to a certain extent, even experienced players will still look and see what's on the front page here. What do I see? I'm not going to go scrolling down this deep in the 6th round and be like, you know what? I think it's Cortland Sutton time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you use that to your advantage. Like you say, even if you've got somebody ranked higher, if it looks like you're going to get them on the next round, you're going to take the other guy, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. So this team has 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, Patrick Mahomes. What do you think the pick is here? What position?
I'm going to guess wide receiver.
Okay, so best available, it says here, is Darrell Henderson. There's Pitts at tight end, which could also be the pick. Then Hunt, Gaskin. I definitely won't be drafting Thielen. I can guarantee you that.
Even if he falls like 3 more spots, 3 more rounds.
Yeah, maybe. I'll take him in the 9th.
Okay. So there's Kyle Pitts. So that's... So
I called it.
And somebody really liked that pick as a fire. They put a fire there.
Yeah. We're just going to put a poop there. You gotta match the fire with the poop, right? You gotta.
It's like the burning bag on the doorstep.
Just pooping on everyone. Anyone who said anything.
So Brandon Ayuk went right before you here. So now you've got your choice of Mike Davis, these other backs that are still sitting there, TJ,
or Dak.
I mean, honestly, I probably would lean away. I don't think Mike Davis goes in these next 4 picks after you.
No, but both teams behind me have a tight end, so I'm not taking Hawkinson.
Right.
I could look at taking Hawkinson in the 7th coming back, but I think this is running back, and we just need to determine if it's Henderson or Gaskin. Terrible pick on Hunt. So let's take a look at my rankings.
That guy likes. I don't hate Cream like you do. I don't know.
I think the new coaching staff, it's not the same role he used to have the year before. So Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin. Oh, Darrell Henderson is the highest ranked guy here.
That's post Sony Michelle coming over too, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think that has that big of an impact. I think maybe he would drop a little bit, but then again, that's why I thought Mike Davis was the safest, but he could easily come back. So is Myles Gaskin maybe the more upside play here since the volume has been there, but they've talked about using kind of a committee approach.
Yeah.
We are running out of time. I've always liked Darrell Henderson. He ran the ball well game here and game there last year. This offense should be better. It's between Henderson or Gaskin.
I'll let you pick.
No, that's not what I wanted to do.
You can always take Mike Davis and go on.
No, because he could come back.
Like I've got, granted these are a little older. I've got Gaskin 21 and Henderson 22. Like they're
they're neck and neck. Like it just depends on. Do you really trust Miami to do the same thing they did last year? Because they've had some changes, I think, at the offensive coordinator position. Yeah. So there goes Gaskin. So
yeah, new OC. So right,
it could change from being a bell cow to a committee. That's one of those changes you can't really predict. Same coaching staff, I would assume, for the Rams. I think McVay probably has a lot of say in what happens, anyways, whether he's the OC or not.
But they used Cam Akers last year too. Well, I guess a lot of people are taking the same players based on that comment.
The only player I had last year that was on this same team is Chris Godwin, and I ended up trading for him.
Now maybe that particular player has the same teams.
Could be him.
So what are you thinking next year? Are you looking wide receiver? Are you looking back to TJ? Or are you looking more another?
I think we just want to go best available here. So it's either Hawk, Davis,
Williams. No.
No, I'm not taking that. Do you think Melvin Gordon's gonna get traded?
I don't know. It was really strange. The Vic Fangio said they wanted to showcase him yesterday. That means maybe looking at a trade to me. But one of the beat reporters for Denver said no, he's not getting traded. He's their top running back. So take what it's worth, I guess. Oh, Kenny Golladay and Jamar Chase. So
okay, so to me, it's looking like it's going to be Hawkinson or Davis, unless there's a wide receiver that really jumps out at me, and there isn't. Like there's still Chark, Deebo Samuel,
Judy,
Smith, Boyd. There goes
Dak. So you've got your choice now.
So now the quarterback tier is basically done. There's 1, 2, 3 teams that need a quarterback, and there's Herbert, Brady, Stafford, and Hurts. And again, Hurts is 11th, so I'm good with that. We do have a question while we're on the clock.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah. Dynasty Superflex. I trade Pittman and Bateman and a second-round rookie pick for Michael Thomas and Fitzmagic. I mean, can you get to the playoffs? Not like Pittman and Bateman are going to really do much. I would probably do this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Michael Thomas is still pretty valuable. And again, you're not trading assets that are going to be that important.
Like you're trading wide receivers that are what ranked 35 and later for a wide receiver in a normal year that's going to be top 12. And
he's a win now team. It makes sense because it's only a second round pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would do that for sure.
I would do it too.
All right. So someone commented, how is Hawk still available? Which is making me think that I have to pick TJ Hawkinson now.
Yeah, well, that guy in particular isn't going to take him, but
I think he's put the word out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for the comment, Matt.
You're welcome.
All the best. It could have been his plan to get me to take him, but I mean,
I think that might have been just to force your hand there a bit. I don't like when people do that in drafts, honestly, when people start naming players.
Got to double fire it. Because it's about my pick. No poop on my pick.
I don't know. That drives me kind of nuts, actually, when people do that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't usually talk about a player until they're drafted. Like, nobody mentioned when CEH was dropping and he picked him and they said, yeah, what a steal. But,
So
still, it's in the 7th. I have almost my entire starting lineup plus the flex. And the player I was going to pick if I didn't take him was Mike Davis. And there's a good chance Mike Davis will just continue to fall because these teams all have 2 running backs. So do they really want their 3rd running back to be Mike Davis? There goes Herbert. So as predicted, the 2 teams, the person that I know the most and myself are the only 2 teams without a quarterback. And absolutely fine with that because I want Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts' fantasy potential this year is quite high. Now, again, I will take him ahead of Stafford, but I won't take him ahead of Brady.
What if they trade for Deshaun Watson?
Well, then he's going to have a lot of garbage time in Houston, and I'm fine with that because that team was awful last year, and Deshaun Watson was what, the number 1 quarterback?
I think he was 3, wasn't he?
Did he miss time?
I believe it was 3. I believe I heard that.
Well, I'll look it up right now, and you can give us a take on your favorite player this year who isn't CH.
All right. I like Jerry Jeudy. Speaking of, he was just taken, unfortunately, from you. I know you like Sutton more.
I think with the quarterback change now, I can see Jeudy having the better year.
Yeah.
But again, I think people are just way too low on Sutton.
But in a 1-year league, I think they're a lot closer. Like in some sort of dynasty, Jeudy, I've got way higher. Like now.
So he was apparently number 5 last year in overall points. And I think he would have been 5 on average if you don't count Dak. Allen was 1.
Yeah,
Kyler 2.
I think. Oh, it was Mahomes 3, I think.
Rodgers 3. Mahomes is 4, but he's number 2 on average. He's actually number 1 on average because he missed the game.
Right, he didn't play the last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's Gus Bus.
And that's about right for him as well.
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind that spot for him.
Is it official that Dobbins is?
I haven't seen it come out from the Ravens. I've just seen everybody else saying it.
So we do have another question from Matt asking, what would you trade for Drew Lock in a super flex? Love me some Lock. Your win now team. I mean, if you really think he's going to get a shot somewhere else, as you say here, I guess a late second. That'd be the most.
Yeah, that'd be the most. I'd probably
start at a third.
For a third.
Yeah, buy low right now if you believe.
He just lost out to Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. So Hawkinson and Fat go in the same round. To me, that's meaning I'm getting some great value on Hawkinson.
And I really liked Locke last year, as you remember.
Yes, and I kept telling you why, because I was writing off with all the stats and how bad the games were. He had 2 games out of 8 over 200 yards passing. Yeah. And yet you just...
Cortland Sutton got hurt, to be fair.
Yeah, that was the whole problem. It definitely wasn't a Drew Lock problem.
Exactly. At least we agree.
Gus Bus just got fired, so I got to poop on it. Hey, let me poop on stuff.
So you're obviously going either running back or wide receiver here next pick?
Yeah, I don't see us going quarterback until one team picks a backup quarterback.
Yes, and then you might get worried. You don't want to get stuck with Baker.
This is the weirdest pick of the draft right now.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, they don't have no. And I mean, Gus Edwards and Tony Pollard kind of go close together before the Dobbins injury, but now I can't see it. Anytime, Matt. Thanks for stopping by.
You are welcome.
But again, I'm talking to you and him.
Nice.
Mike Davis is probably the guy that we'd be looking at getting here.
Yeah, he just keeps falling. I don't agree with taking Edwards, sure, but I don't agree with taking Pollard over Mike Davis. I'm okay with taking Gus over him. That's just whatever. But somebody in one of my drafts on Friday, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing. He took Chase Edmonds over J.K. Dobbins. It obviously worked out now, but at the time it was really strange.
Yes, very, very strange.
And people kind of went, who? Ooh. And he's like, oh, should I have taken Dobbins? Yes, you should have. Oh, well.
There goes Cortland Sutton. So in the span of 10 or so picks, we got Jeudy, Fant, and Sutton to go.
So that Denver.
I just think the fan pick is too early.
Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon both still kicking. So the running backs are still there.
We got a question from Big Perm 33. Start Josh Jacobs or Tyler Lockett at flex. Week 1? What are the matchups, Matt?
Seattle is playing Indianapolis. I just happen to know that off the hand. I don't remember off the top of my head who Vegas is playing, but I think it's going to be Jacobs regardless.
Jacobs is playing the Ravens at home on what looks like...
Oh, was that Monday night or something, I think?
Yeah. Are they having only one Monday nighter this year?
And even if it's PPR, I'd still go Jacobs.
And so the other option was Tyler Lockett against the Colts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Josh Jacobs for me.
Me too.
Even in PPR.
Yeah. Even in full PPR, yeah.
I think I'm going to try to trade for Jacobs after this draft.
Where is that Jacobs team? There it is. So
right there.
It's wide receiver strong, so he needs running back, so good luck taking it. Unless you give him, well, I guess you give him Sanders and like
Henderson.
Yeah, maybe.
Trey Sermon goes before Raheem Mostert. The hype
I've seen that too.
Real.
Yeah. Like, oh, there's Javonte Williams. Okay, so
that was a quick pick as well. Melvin Gordon still available.
Yep, I think Williams will be the lead back towards the end of the year anyway.
Anytime, Big Perm 33.
But yeah, it's the running backs are going, so you might be getting a little nervous about me and Mike Davis here.
I mean, the fact that Mike Davis is going after Tony Pollard, you know that was a bad pick, but there goes Mike Davis. Ronald Jones on a quick pick.
So are you thinking Damian Harris? Is that why he's highlighted?
No, I wasn't thinking Damian Harris at all. But it's not a bad pick. I'd probably be thinking DJ Chark, actually.
Over Juju?
Yes. I don't know what Juju's role is going to be. And, I mean, how frustrating were the Steelers wide receivers last year?
I know.
Nothing's changed.
The one that I had was Deontay Johnson, and he was frustrating because he was either good or hurt.
Yes. And so Devonta Smith goes, which is an interesting pick. At running back, having missed on Mike Davis, like all these guys, other than Damian Harris, are, they're not going to improve my situation, and I don't see myself starting them over a player like DJ Chark. I'll probably take Deebo Samuel coming back and then go running back strong the rest of the way.
All right. I would tell you that I like Juju better than DJ, though.
No, I definitely do not. That's not even up for debate for me.
Okie doke. They're 5 apart for you. I was just looking.
Yeah, and again, like I'm not overly high on DJ Chark. See, I would have taken Lockett there. But as you can see, like and most of these guys have already gone. Like Chase is gone. I could see Chase being over Juju Smith as well.
Judy's gone. Anderson, I think, is gone. I think someone took Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson is gone. He was taken at the turn there. So I'm quite happy with that DJ Chark pick. And like I said, I'm probably going to be taking Deebo coming back because I do like Deebo. And I just think... Pardon?
Cooks is there. Boyd is there. Like, there's still decent players there.
Yeah. I'm going to go Deebo. And if anybody in this draft is listening or watching, do not pick Deebo Samuel. Let him fall to me.
There's only 2 people that could be listening or watching that could really do anything about it.
Yeah, it does say 0 people are watching, so I'm not overly worried.
There you go. There you go. Doesn't matter. Juju's gone.
Yeah, Juju's his headache this year. So this person, that person needed a wide receiver. This person needs nothing. Like they have their lineup. It's just all about the flex position now.
I would imagine
they should be on a best available strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make this a little bit smaller or just all the way smaller?
No, it just goes. Yeah.
But it does go up again.
That's the one thing about Sleeper. Like if I had to change something. Otherwise, Sleeper's great.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it would go down to just like 4 or something so you can see more of the draft, especially for people who are doing this. And I mean, if you want your platform to get more attention, you want people using it and showing it off on YouTube. Like
the other thing I would
today.
change about Sleeper is make it easier to scroll down between the players. Like that, the bar on the right-hand side is very hard to see. No, like to your right a little bit. Like the bar there, yeah.
There's a bar here?
Yeah.
I just use the wheel and the mouse.
Yeah, I don't have that. My laptop doesn't have that, so it's awful.
Oh, yeah, it's on a laptop. That would be pretty annoying. I guess it's in here somewhere?
Yeah. Like you can't really see it. You need to make it like white or something.
I would like to be able to get rid of the queue as well. Like I don't need to see this.
Oh, there you go. Brandon Cooks went. So your wide receiver options are going. So if Tyler Boyd goes here, then there's Debo. I know you're taking Debo regardless, but
yeah, I'm just looking at the running backs to see if there's anything here that kind of stands out. And I mean, the first 3 names do stand out, but with my running back situation, I'm not really looking to get just more depth. Like the guys that I have are going to be good enough to start, and Melvin Gordon could be splitting time. Mostert's probably going to get hurt. If I had punted more on running backs, I'd definitely be interested in these guys. I did like Mike Davis because I think that he might be able to be better than the guys that I drafted, but I don't see that from any of these other players. Like Harris would probably be the only one. But I think what I'll do is just kind of grab some shots on some random players like a Phillip Lindsay later on, Zach Moss at some point, maybe a Michael Carter.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just looking for best available to fill those flex positions. And
even
to
someone
me,
like
Debo.
Even and you're not going to like it at all, but even like Tevin Coleman at the end of the draft, like he's the starter in New York right now.
Yeah, except a lot of people think Ty Johnson is going to be the starter. The fantastic talent that is Ty Johnson.
Well, they were resting their starters in their last preseason game, and that's the running back they chose to rest. So that's just kind of I'm basing that off of.
So Damian Harris was the guy that I was giving any thought to. He doesn't go, so Debo will be the pick here over Boyd, over Landry. You think you would go Boyd?
Between Debo and Boyd, that's closer.
But you'd obviously take Mike Williams ahead of all these people. No questions about it, right?
No, Mike Williams I have lower than all these guys.
I don't think Landry is the pick, but he could be. Like Landry's pretty good as well.
Of all these guys, I have Boyd the highest. Like we basically have Debo and Boyd flip-flopped.
And where's Jarvis on the list?
And we've both got Jarvis lower than both of them.
Even though he is a much safer pick. So let's gamble on the Debo. All right. So now it's definitely running back time. With this wide receiver depth that we have, basically being able to start a wide receiver at 5 different positions, it's time to start hitting on some running backs that could end up being some nice trade targets for other teams. So like a Zach Moss would be an example. Michael Carter. I mean, Fournette, if Ronald Jones, is this like a decided thing that Ronald Jones is for sure the guy? Because it seems that way, but I mean, everything that we saw in the playoffs last year would lead you to believe that Fournette is the better talent, is the better running back, other than like pass drops that we saw from a lot of the running backs on the box last year. Fournette was the better guy.
And I think they're just both on 1 year left on their deals. So
yeah, I think Fournette's on a 1 year deal. They re-signed him, and Ronald Jones is on the 4th year of his rookie deal. So I don't know. But I'm going to let Matt sing the DJ Chark song while I go get some water.
You didn't leave. I'm coming up on my the end of my shift here, though, right away. You thought you were getting water.
Yeah, I was fixing my sound issue first. So now I don't have to have the earphone in. I can still hear you.
Oh, I see.
So I expect some play-by-play here on the Laviska Shenault pick. Not that far after DJ Chark.
That's what a lot of people are taking over DJ Chark this year. Absolutely. Gadgety type player. We both like Chark better. I've got not nearly as big a discrepancy between Chark and Shenault that Ben does. Ben has Chark at wide receiver number 27 versus 51 for Shenault, and I've got them 39 and 42. Not really somebody I mean, I could even see Marvin Jones being wide receiver 1 there at the end of the year. Like it's not even that out of the question.
Dallas Goedert, the tight end, goes now.
Okay.
Followed by Bob Tunyon, a backup tight end for the team that took Kyle Pitts. Not believing that Kyle Pitts will be the man, they go take a backup tight end.
You know, because you put a poop on him.
Yeah, let's put a poop on that as well.
Will Fuller? Oh.
No. Just the backup tight end pick. Let's poop on Chanel as well. You know what? Do we like any of these picks? Oh, let's poop on this one. Ronald Jones, Poop City.
All right, you don't have to go back that far. Now it's just.
Well, Matt, we got to provide some type of content, and pooping on people's picks is fantastic content.
I like. Honestly, I didn't hate the Juju pick because I told you I would have taken him for Chark.
Yeah, and that's added reason as to why I put poop on it.
All right. I think Brandon Cooks is a value at the beginning of round 9. Like, who else are they going to throw to there?
There goes Boyd finally.
Yeah. Oh, there's Melvin Gordon.
Great value for these players here. Like these are Boyd's going to be a pretty safe pick.
Yeah. Probably the highest floor of the 3.
Meh. I mean, I just think Higgins is just solid.
Yeah. No, all 3 of them are solid. Like.
So what would your strategy be now with this team that I have? So I'll just highlight the team so that you can see it.
Ooh.
And you can tell me what you would do in this draft. Then I will tell you what the correct thing to do in the draft is. So go ahead.
The next position I would go for is running back.
Agreed.
I mean, you could go quarterback at like round 11 there. I wouldn't take quarterback next.
I'm not taking quarterback until backup quarterbacks start to go.
You don't want it to like say at 11.5 backup goes and then like 3 or 4 backups go.
I'm fine with that because that's just leaving better players, and then I can wait till the 15th round to grab a quarterback and just get great value.
Then you're stuck with like Baker.
I won't get stuck with Baker. Stop scaring me.
Well, let's see. Brady, Stafford, Hurts, Tannehill, Burrow would all be gone in the next 5. Like those are by far the next 5 quarterbacks available.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy taking Trey Lance and Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins or Tua. Like there's so many. Like Jameis Winston is still available. What do you think Jameis Winston's going to do this year?
He'll probably play quarterback for the Saints.
You think so?
Yeah.
They don't have him at safety?
I think I still put him around number 20 probably.
Yeah, it's tough to say because like what he did in Tampa Bay, he was the number 2 guy. I think Russell Gage just went off the board in the 10th round.
It's people like I don't even know what to tell you about that. It's people that are just really hoping that he replaces Julio like full on.
I mean, I don't know. Like you look at the guys there and you think, why would you take him over the guys left? Like, I mean,
no.
Corey Davis seems to be the guy in New York. I think he's pretty much an undervalued player at this point. He's somebody that you can get, and if the quarterback focuses on him early on and everybody else is hurt or not doing anything, you can then flip him as like he's the number 1 there. He's a top 20 guy, easy. And when you really think that he's probably going to start falling off as the season goes on, but he could get out to a hot start.
There you go. Yeah, Landry, Mike Williams, Corey Davis.
Did Jalen Waddle do anything this year? He didn't get picked. I tried to click on him, and Jarvis Landry went.
Fantasy-related news, but a trade has just taken place. The Jets traded for Shaq Lawson from Houston.
Would they give up? Denzel Mims?
Doesn't say, actually.
Denzel Mims in Houston is a nice situation. Gronk goes backup tight end? No, first tight end.
Oh,
Every team but one has a tight end.
Can you hear that?
I didn't make out what it was said, but something about back sore?
No, a dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I think my shift is going to come to a screeching halt here very quickly here.
Well, Matt, we all appreciate you coming and joining us today on this.
Michael Carter went. Speaking of.
Michael Carter did go.
Yeah.
Who apparently is not the starter. He is third string after Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman, according to you.
Well, like I said, the Coleman thing is just because they rested him with the rest of the starters, and they played Carter and Ty Johnson in the last preseason game. So I thought that was strange.
So which running back is the pick here? Is it Fournette or is it Moss? I can't see it being Mostert simply because he doesn't really fit the team.
I don't like any of the Houston. Like I just don't know what to make of that whole situation.
Oh, I'm all in on Lindsey. I think Lindsey is the younger, better talent. I think that we saw Ingram was pretty much done last year. I know they're starting him, but this is a team that's going to be behind all the time. And David Johnson hasn't looked like David Johnson in many years.
Well, Mostert, man. DJ was actually good at the end of last year. Like
he was good week 1 as well.
Yeah, well,
just the whole middle stretch. Okay, so Fournette, Moss, James Conner. I think it's Fournette, right?
Yeah, I mean, all these guys are like sharing their roles now.
Yeah, so you're looking at who can emerge, and to me, it's Fournette or Moss.
Yeah, like I like Moss a little better because I just trust Singletary a lot less than Jones, but neither.
But I mean, they weren't able to run the ball at all last year.
No, they didn't even try. And actually, in the Packers game against the Bills, there I didn't watch it, but I was following the Twitter guys, and they said that Buffalo did not attempt one run in the first quarter when the starters were in.
So could it be a situation where they just don't have a running game and they're fine with it? And we just keep hoping that one of the Buffalo Bills backs is going to emerge, and then none of them do?
Yeah. Like, I don't think either is a wrong pick here, Fournette or Moss. If I was going to pick, I don't know if you want both of them. Like, I mean, you might have the opportunity to draft them both.
I wouldn't mind both, but I'm leaning. Oh, it's my pick. I wasn't aware. Yeah, I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. I just think he's the better talent. And situation aside, I think they go with the hot hand there, and they were able to do some damage with the running backs last year. At no point in any game was Zach Moss any good last year. And it's not saying that he's not good. I just don't think that they are set up to run the ball. So
yeah, it's tough to say that he's not good because we just didn't see him very much, right? Like he did catch a touchdown yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that Fournette or Moss?
Moss.
Corey Davis.
Okay. I don't mind that at all.
Nope, don't mind that at all either. Especially like it depends on his wide receivers, and he's got Juju, which is just garbage. Robert Woods, Metcalf, so it's his fourth wide receiver. But again, the biggest thing to take away if you're watching this is we still haven't taken a quarterback, and we're still not even considering taking a quarterback.
No. And I think
all these people have missed out on picks as good as Gus Edwards or T.J. Hawkinson,
or Tony Pollard,
DJ Moore. So many players that they could have taken. There goes Waddle, an interesting pick.
Someone liking the Miami hype.
Yeah, someone might
I haven't heard what happened with his injury. I know that he got hurt in the preseason game, but see, like that, I've heard he's getting cut. So,
at what point do we have to draft Alexander Matheson? Is it now, or is it not?
No,
now?
Not yet. Like his name is just creeping up.
And should we take Sony Michelle? I think yes.
But I think Madison's more of a priority than Sony Michelle, in my opinion.
I think Sony Michelle is going to be a player that you draft and you hold on to for the first couple weeks if you have Henderson, just to make sure that Henderson has the role and Sony doesn't, and then you could just cut him. Because you don't want to handcuff him, because it could go to being a committee. I mean, it could go to him as well, but it's just a situation where maybe it is a split, and then you have to hold on to both.
Well, I think after this next pick here, I'll have to sign off because of the activity that's going on here. But
it's getting loud.
Yeah.
Why don't you leave us with your favorite last round pick, not counting the defense that we're going to pick there? So we got both Fournette and Zach Moss, by the way, as we continue to move on. We're going to be loading this roster up with running backs. We have another 3 spots. I would assume 2 will be running backs, and then we'll probably take a stab on a wide receiver flyer late in this draft.
Wait, you're going to take Madison, and hopefully you get Mike Williams?
I don't think I'm going to get Mike Williams, but we could.
How about Terrace Marshall?
That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Again, in a 10 team, there's a lot of depth still left at the wide receiver position at the end. I mean, Elijah Moore could be a guy. Marquez Callaway, who's jumped up draft boards, could be a guy that you could look to package. I particularly care. I like Rondale Moore in a non-dynasty format simply because of what he can do if healthy, and it's not like the biggest investment. Of course, we both like Brian Edwards, but might be a little bit too shallow of a draft for Brian Edwards to make it off the board here in a 10 team.
Yeah.
There goes Callaway, by the way, just speaking of him.
Edwards could be a last round pick, I think.
Yeah, Gabriel Davis as well could be there. You talking about a Diggs injury?
Paris Campbell.
Sammy Watkins for week 1.
There goes a backup, Tom Brady.
First backup goes.
So this could be the run that you were worried about.
It's quarterback time. But, I mean, look at these guys. They have Lamar Jackson, Russ, and Rodgers. Other than this guy with Herbert. And even still, like, why are you worried?
The guy that just took Tom Brady as Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, if they all take quarterbacks, I get better players. And there goes Mike Williams. And I guess that's it. That's the only reason you were here, right?
Yeah. That's I think we've got a good core. So hopefully you can maybe flip something into a more steady second running back. I think there are some Miles Sanders fans out there, not really in this league as he fell to round 5, but I mean that last team has depth issues, I think.
Which team? This team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I recall their draft properly.
Started with Kelsey Adams. I don't know if you can see the team. Oh my God, sleeper. So this is really bad.
Okay. It was a 6th round pick for Shaq Lawson.
So basically free. Rodgers, Carson, Robinson, Devontae, Higgins, Anderson, Kelsey, Pollard. Okay, so yeah, he definitely has some flex. So we'd be looking at one of these running backs or Devontae.
I mean, I don't think you're going to get Adams.
Well, I mean, if we're throwing back somebody like Godwin and then also throwing in, I don't know, another. He needs flex position players. He has Pollard and Drake right now.
Yeah. I would like something like Sanders and maybe. Well, obviously, I'd say like Sanders and like Fournette for like Drake and Carson, but he obviously likes Drake better than Fournette since he took him ahead.
Yeah, definitely going to be. That's the time to make trades, right? Is right after the draft is a great time to just kind of strike.
I find a lot of people will just be. I saw a lot of people I talked to anyway, just like, I want to see what I've got first, and then I'll decide if I want to make a trade.
Luckily, I got a question from Dirty Money before we go. Should I trade Gus Edwards from Mark Andrews? I have Logan Thomas at tight end. I have Henry Swift, Mike Davis, Melvin Gordon at running back. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I think you can do better. And I mean, I don't know if this is a dynasty league or not. If it is a dynasty league, I guess it's nice to strike when Gus Edwards is hot so you can have long-term value on it. I don't particularly care for Logan Thomas at tight end. I think most of his success came because of Alex Smith and his tendency to check down to the tight end or to the running backs.
Yeah, if this is redraft, yeah, I think you could even get like Hawkinson, or if you
Looking
feel
at
like you
where
need
he
the upgrade.
went, like he went in the same round as Hawkinson, but I mean, some people like Andrews more. Andrews went 2 rounds ahead of Edwards. So if you're really concerned about the tight end position, it's not a terrible trade. I would just probably look to have maybe a bigger trade where you got a little bit more out of the Gus Edwards, because the hype, like he's only going to go up as the hype continues to grow for him with Dobbins being 100% out.
The other 4 running backs are fine, absolutely. Like,
yeah, for this year.
Yeah,
like you're not like Mike Davis should be solid. Melvin Gordon should have several weeks,
and obviously
So,
Henry's
Henry.
So I would aim a little higher than Mark Andrews, but if you like Mark Andrews better than TJ Hawkinson, then by all means go for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Thanks for the question, Dirty Money.
Because I would trade Edwards for Hawkinson if I needed a tight end.
And if you had Logan Thomas, like you don't consider Logan Thomas having a tight end, I guess?
He's not. He's fine, but it's just not good. Does that make sense? Like, you're okay with him, but you don't love it?
Yeah.
But
anytime, man. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate it.
All right.
So this draft seems to have slowed tremendously.
Yeah. It should go faster at the end, which is really strange, but like I mentioned, I think I'm gonna have to sign off here and get things taken care of. But I hope that the 2 people that stopped in got what they were looking for.
3 people.
3.
They all came to see you.
I'm sure they did. That's right.
Yes. All right.
Okay. But anyway, we will talk to you later. Good luck with the rest of the draft.
Thank you, sir.
Don't forget about Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman in the last round.
Sure.
Right after my defense. You have a sleeper defense for me?
No, I don't. I don't rank defenses.
Fair enough.
Sorry. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye now. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks. We are probably going to take a quarterback this round just to make sure that we do get our quarterback target, which is Jalen Hurts. Hopefully he makes it to our pick. But other than that, we're going to be looking to grab some running backs, a defense. So we have 3 more skill position players picks. We won't be taking a tight end, a backup tight end, that is, because we do have TJ Hawkinson already, and he's going to start every single week. So there goes the first defense. It's the Bucs defense. It goes in the 12th round. This might start a run on defenses, which I'm fine with because I'll just take whatever defense, and I'll be looking to basically just stream defenses for the whole season. Defenses tend to switch year over year as to which one's good. There was the one year where the Patriots were absolutely dominant, and then the next year they were just okay. Last year we saw Tampa just pour it on late. The Rams are sometimes good, sometimes not. I remember Houston would have one of the best defenses. Then the next year they would just be run over. So it is very volatile. And what you saw last year usually is like a decent indication, but it's also not 100%. Just looking to try to get somebody else on the show. We can talk about the draft. It will be somebody from the draft. Just trying to see who we can get. And again, our pick here is going to be a quarterback. I don't think the team with 2 quarterbacks is going to take a quarterback here. But if the person picking ahead of me is thinking about a quarterback and the one that they want, they would be wise to take it before my pick, as I will be taking a quarterback. And we have somebody timeout, and they get A.J. Dillon. And they're now on auto drafts. So, but just looking here on why you should wait on quarterback, like some of the players that have been passed up because of this. Just for taking a quarterback, it really lowers the value of your team overall. So he does take Tannehill, which leaves Stafford and Jalen Hurts. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of want Hurts because I think the upside is just so huge. But I probably have no, I have him one spot ahead of Stafford. So let's go with Jalen Hurts. And you got to go with the boomer bust pick sometimes to make sure that to give you the chance to really outperform. As safe as Stafford and Tannehill are, some of these quarterbacks are just going to be left on the waiver wire, and we can just roll with them. So Jalen Hurts, bring that upside to our team. So we're the last team to pick a tight end. The team that picked right before us was the second last team. So that is the strategy in your draft. You are waiting on tight end, especially in a 10-team league for one quarterback. Even in a 12-team league, like this is the 11th quarterback. Stafford would be the 12th, Burrow 13th, Lawrence 14th. That's about where it ends. Matt Ryan can get into the discussion, and then you have the high upside play like a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields. So if you do draft a Matt Ryan to be safe, you can have Trey Lance to be your upside guy if it gets to that point where he gets the start and he gets a lot of points, which he should if he gets the start. But it's the big, will he get the start? Is he ready? Or is he too raw still? If you have questions, make sure you drop them in the chat and I will answer them as to how you should, or any draft questions, any week one start questions. Of course, we'll be live prior to week one every week this year. This draft really has slowed. It should have gone a fair bit quicker for the last little rounds. When you're just kind of picking, there we go. That's a better speed. So there goes David Johnson. He drafted after Philip Lindsay. Interesting. Not usually something you would see, but we're just talking to one of the people here, talking about some interesting picks. That Pollard pick was, wow. There goes Pittman. That's a good pick at this point in the draft, even though there are still some other probably good wide receivers. Like a Mooney fits that same kind of mold with Pittman. But with the news of T.Y. Hilton missing the first couple weeks, right now, like Pittman is a good pick, but I also think Paris Campbell is a really good pick. So I said we were going to be taking one wide receiver, and we're going to be taking defense and basically running backs. Other than that, we have a situation where we can take Devin Singletary here or Alexander Matheson. Just taking a look at the injury here. I mean, I have to roster Matheson, and I'm just wondering how long I can wait before I take him. And I think the answer is probably going to be I have to take him now, simply because nobody on this list really jumps out as a player that I kind of have to draft at the running back position other than him. So we'll reach a bit for him. Still some tight ends. Devin Singletary. I know we have Zach Moss, but we're not going to just double hedge our bet. We're betting on Moss being the guy. It's a possibility that neither of them are going to have much of an impact. And if that's the case, we'll end up just dropping Zach Moss after a couple weeks. But the upside's there, and that's why we took him there. It is frustrating this draft to slow down so much. And there goes Singletary, and we'll speed up this draft by picking Alexander Matheson here. Our handcuff to Dalvin Cook. And now if you look at our roster, we have Cook and Matheson, so we do have the handcuff there. Our other starting running backs are going to be Sanders, Henderson, and in the flex, we'll probably be going wide receiver heavy. 3 wide receivers have Calvin Ridley, A.J. Brown, Chris Godwin, DJ Chark, and Deebo Samuel. So that's why we were picking the best available players during those rounds to fill out the 2 flex spots. And we have Fournette, Moss. There's not much left at any position anymore. Son of a, so you get sniped again thinking that he was going to be able to get Madison, even though I have Cook. So I'll just laugh at his comment. Yeah, I didn't think anybody else would be looking to grab him that early, but apparently that's double snipe now, back-to-back picks for him. So the decision we have to make, the only decision that's left is what's the second running back that we're going to take, and then who will be our random wide receiver. I'm waiting defense to the last pick. I don't care what my defense is. So that'll be the third last pick of the draft, and I'll just take from whatever's available. I definitely am happy to just rotate defenses in and out all season long. So Sony Michelle is an interesting pick. He has moved up. Kenneth Gainwell is also an interesting pick simply because I do think that he is going to catch a lot of passes. But in a half PPR, it's less valuable. Matt was yelling about Tevin Coleman and that he's the man. And I mean, he could be, but the Jets have not had a great running back for a long time. Latest lead back, however, that's not saying much because they'll likely end up using a committee of 3 or 4 players, which is probably right. I think the way their team is set up and with the positional players that they have, like Michael Carter, who's a great airback, I think that I just talking to this person about the CEH. But yeah, this has gone really slow. Last 4 rounds, you're just basically picking players that probably won't be on your roster for that long, other than your defense. And your defense, like I said, I'm going to be just rotating them. So there goes Mike Gesicki. Is that a third tight end? No, that's just a second tight end. Someone is about to get a second Q. I think that might have been QB. I'm not sure. There goes Chuba Hubbard, the handcuff for Christian McCaffrey. Definitely not looking to take a backup quarterback. Happy with the Hurts. Again, 10-team league. There should be plenty available on the waiver wire. I could see some people taking like a Trey Lance or something. Now we're moving. Gio Bernard. That's Tyler Higbee's a decent pick, but I mean, that's their tight end. They went with Higbee at tight end. Wow. That in a 10-team league isn't overly strong. 2 teams have backup tight ends, and he went. We'll see how Stafford uses the tight end in LA. Wasn't a big tight end person in Detroit up until last year when him and TJ got it going fairly well. Cole Beasley. So Gabriel Davis is still there. It's looking more and more like the pick is going to be. I don't care for Naheem Hines. J.D. McKissick is okay, but I think it's probably going to be Sony Michelle as the pick, just so that we can see how this situation evolves with Darrell Henderson and him in the backfield. And like these picks that we're making now, other than Madison, who's going to be on the roster the whole time, these are going to be the picks that you're usually using to turn over on the waiver wire. Yeah, sometimes you're going to have an injury and you can IR somebody and have that extra spot. But these last picks, you don't want them to be picks where you're just like, you know what? I think that Trey Lance is going to be the quarterback come week 6. So I'm going to hold him for 5 weeks on my bench, at the end of my bench, blocking a roster spot where I could be grabbing somebody off the waiver wire, especially in a 10-team league where everybody has a good quarterback. And quarterback is so deep this year that you don't need to do that. You can just kind of wait and see how it's going and pick him up week 3 if that's what you can do, or week 4 even. But yeah. So Sony Michelle will be on the team. He'll probably be on the team for 2 weeks. He's one of these 2-week players that we have. And then we'll be looking to drop him, or we'll be looking to trade him or use him. I mean, if he's the guy and Darrell Henderson isn't, or if we have a situation where they're both splitting, that's when it becomes tough. And it could be looking to basically trade both of them, or maybe even cut both of them. Although that'd be a big waste of a pick in the 6th round on Darrell Henderson, who's believed to be the lead back. And believe he will be, but will the volume be enough? There goes Tevin Coleman. So, I mean, sorry, Matt, we couldn't get him. It just happened that way. Not that we were going to grab him anyways. But as this draft limps along, hopefully through this quicker section, it'll pick up again. I am starving. I'm looking forward to this being over so I can go and eat something. Bateman, I don't get that pick. I mean, 6 to 8 weeks. You're going to miss that much time? Like, we just talked about this, why you don't want to do this with having somebody just taking up a roster spot on your bench for that long, and then you go and make a pick like this. Like, this isn't a deep league where this is what we're left picking. Like, there's a lot of guys that are available at the wide receiver position that are going to play right away. Like, why not grab a Rondale Moore? And Rondale Moore might be the guy that we end up grabbing here. Terrace Marshall, also an option, but I think we're going to go with Sony Michelle this time around, and then we'll make the tough decision in the second last round as to what wide receiver we should pick. If you are here in the chat and you want to comment which wide receiver you would pick out of this full list, I'll give you a good look at it for a little bit here. Will it not go bigger than that? Well, that's disappointing. So there goes Naheem Hines. Here's the wide receiver list. I'll slowly scroll down so you have a look at it. I don't think anybody deeper than this is going to be a pick. Ruggs was just picked, so he's no longer there. I mean, Gabe Davis is a fine pick. Edwards is a fine pick. It looks like we are on the block. And he picked Sony Michelle. Are you listening to the stream? Is that what you just did? Wow. So that changes things up a little bit. Let's see if he has someone that we can. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I don't even know which one of these running backs I want anymore. How much time do I have left? I have a minute left. We might be going wide receiver here since we don't like any of these other running backs. All right, let's go with some high upside wide receivers here. We're going to start off with Moore, and then we're going to look to get Terrace Marshall coming back. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we might have to trade with him to try to get Sony Michelle. I don't know what he'd want to give up, but that was a bit frustrating. But now we're taking more shots on some high upside wide receivers. I'm just talking to Matt. I don't know if he's watching the show or not. So there goes Aguilar, and we're just hoping for Terrace Marshall to come in, although I think the person picking right now might be listening. So hopefully they're not going to pick Terrace Marshall, and they'll leave us Terrace Marshall. Because if not, then we might have to go to Paris Campbell, which is fine too. I mean, I think Paris Campbell might be the better pick, actually. Just taking a look. And there goes Terrace Marshall. So, yeah, he is obviously listening. Well done. Well done. Well done. Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. So I think that makes our decision easy. Even though I love Bryan Edwards, I just think that there is a number one there, and that's Darren Waller, and that's settled, versus there isn't really a number one in Indy. It could be Pittman. Absolutely could be. But again, these are players that aren't going to be on the roster for that long. They're going to come in, do their thing. And if they don't do anything, they're going to get thrown to the waiver wire. Tyrell Williams is a okay pick as well. If you were hurting at wide receiver, which we're not, we have 5 deep. We're just trying to take guys that are going to be trade bait, basically. Just looking for high upside guys. And we're going to have less running backs than I would like in a situation like this. But it's just kind of the way it fell. Like we got 3 extra bench ones. So would have been nice to get Sony Michelle, but instead we're getting some high upside wide receivers, which is fine. I mean, Sony could end up being dropped. And if Sony happens to be the guy in the Rams, that's going to really sting, though. I would assume that a lot of people are going to start taking defenses in this pick, which is absolutely fine by me. 2 have gone, 8 to go. We won't be taking one this round, but others might. Of course, if you've been watching this long, you've enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and appreciate if you subscribe. Helps out the channel. So we'll gamble Paris Campbell, and then we'll start looking at defenses. And we got the week 1 schedule, so we can figure out who's a good stream. We got the Jets playing the Panthers, so that'd be a fine one. No, the poor Jets. Broncos playing the Giants as well, so Denver would be all right defense. Excuse me, especially if they're without Saquon Barkley. Seahawks playing the Colts, so the Colts seem to have everybody coming back. Jaguars playing the Texans, so that's an interesting stream if we want to go that way. Can't really believe it's taking this long. So there goes Bryan Edwards, as we mentioned, a player we liked. But going with the short window of these players going to be dropped right away, I think Paris Campbell has a better chance, especially with the T.Y. Hilton injury. So either way, Bryan Edwards is going to be behind Darren Waller. Steelers D goes. It's 3rd D off the board. And I definitely keep updated in the comments as to what the roster is. So I get you probably don't want to watch a full video. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, okay. A 2-hour video on a draft. So I'll post my team in the comments, and then I'll post any trades as well, so you can keep up with this team as the season goes on and as what I'm doing as to all the moves. So yeah, so you can follow along on this team. And I'll definitely mention some of the waiver wire moves I'm doing in our waiver wire shows. There goes Stafford. So, I mean, we could have waited until this round to pick players like that. We could have gotten Pittman here, and then we could have had these same exact players. We probably wouldn't have taken Campbell if we took Pittman. But, yeah, that just shows how long you could wait on quarterback. You could have gotten Matthew Stafford in the second last round. And, I mean, Trey Lance still hasn't gone, and he probably won't. And he'll just be available on the waiver wire. And if he ever gets to start, it'll be a lineup and a huge bidding war to get him. But 10 teams, everyone's going to have a good quarterback anyway. Anyways, the worst quarterbacks are Hurts and Tannehill, and they're both fine. So, yeah, no excuse for picks taking this long at this point of the draft. So you're either taking a defense, and I mean, you've had basically 20 picks to figure it out. So Stafford to back up Lamar Jackson. I'm just going to poop on the picks because you shouldn't be taking backup quarterbacks. If anything, it'd be nice if a interface had the ability to have the draft counter take more time early on and then less time as the rounds went up. Yes, I am pooping on backup quarterbacks. Zach Ertz, interesting. If you have any questions about your draft before you get into it, just you post it in the comments of this video or any video. I'll see it and I will answer it. So don't be afraid to drop a comment on any of our YouTube videos. So now we just wait to see which defense we get. Not much else to do in this draft. So, I mean, if you are watching, there's not much reason to. Just wearing it out till we get to which defense we get. I'm just looking at something here. Just looking to see if there's any chance that Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback. And I very much doubt it. But if it is a possibility, we could avoid picking a defense here and just taking Trey Lance. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is still available, so I don't know if that's even worth it. Deshaun Watson would be an interesting pick here with my last pick, and could see if he gets traded before the season starts. If not, then I'd have to grab a defense. I have to check if waivers run before, though. That's an important thing to note, because if not, then I'd be stuck with no defense and I could get an illegal lineup and could get 0 points. So they say, yeah. Who should I take second overall PPR? I'd still go with Cook. I mean, I think it's close between Cook and Kamara, but with Winston winning the job, I think he's going to chuck it a lot more. And I'd go with Cook. Cook over Kamara. And we were fortunate to get him at 3.5 PPR league. Not sure why Henry went second. We're looking at Cook or Kamara, and we ended up with Cook. And we got Madison. Make sure you get Madison. That's an important thing to get. So looking at this, we could pick a non-defense right now. But other than the quarterback pick, I don't see anything that's really going to be overly valuable. There goes Trey Lance anyway, so that's pretty much out the window. So he goes with 3 quarterbacks. He did the strategy that I was thinking of, which is pick Trey Lance, and then if he doesn't start, if he's not the starter, then you just drop him. And someone just thought that picking Adrian Peterson in 2021 was a good pick. So that's interesting. So yeah, we're still looking at defense here, because we're not, like, nothing else would make sense. It's a fine strategy to do the Lance thing. But, I mean, when you have Lamar Jackson, it's not going to matter. What are you going to drop Stafford for a defense? And then you just wasted your other pick. So I would get it if you didn't pick Stafford. It would make sense. But you don't need Stafford on this team. It's just overkill. And so only one more defense. We're going to get the third worst defense, technically, in terms of pick. But let's take a look at week 1 here. Who are the Niners are playing the Lions. So that would be the pick, the 49ers. I'm sure he's listening, so he's going to take the Niners now and snipe me just like he did with Sony Michelle. So congrats to him on picking the 49ers defense. The Bills defense even that good last season. They play in week 1 against the Steelers, which should be a pretty good offense as well. It's dragging on. Again, basically we're getting the 49ers or the Broncos, which I'm happy with either way. 49ers play the Lions on the road, and the Broncos play the Giants on the road in the afternoon. Now, we know how that's an afternoon start for the Giants. It's not really a big deal. 49ers going to the East Coast. I would actually probably prefer the Broncos, but it's going to be Broncos. It's going to be 49ers. That's going to wrap up the draft. Once we make that pick, once people start going here. Quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Quite happy with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. And even if he is terrible as an NFL quarterback, he's going to still put up fantasy points. So worst case scenario is he gets just benched, and then we have to go looking for a quarterback on the waiver wire. And we only get to pick from Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Fields, who will probably be picked up at the time that he becomes a starter, Matt Ryan, Cousins, and Watson can get a job. And I mean, Tua is still available, as is Jameis Winston. So there's absolutely no need to ever rush on quarterback in a draft like this. Everybody knows this. He takes the 49ers. So I will take the Broncos. And at running back, Cook and Sanders. Now, we missed on Mixon by a pick, or else we would have taken Mixon in the 3rd round here. And then we missed on Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back, so we had to take Godwin. So we got strong wide receivers, but then we had to force running back here. Instead of going with like a DJ Moore, we had to take a Miles Sanders. And then here we were looking at possibly taking Mike Davis, but we also expected Mike Davis to come back, and he only came up 3 spots short of coming back. We have a good flex with Chark and Samuel, and we'll see what happens with Henderson and Sanders. But right now, what we're going to look to do is trade for Josh Jacobs, who went at 4.06, and see if we can't maybe swing a deal to improve their running back position by offering them possibly something like Darrell Henderson and Chris Godwin, and then taking back something else. Although he doesn't have a lot that I like, which is unfortunate, but maybe a Mostert would make sense for us. So I will try to talk to the auto drafter about trading for Josh Jacobs. And that's going to wrap it up for the show, just under 2 hours. Appreciate it if you came by. Appreciate it if you asked a question. And we'll see you next time. That's it.